Breaking Down the Borders. I'm Linda Furiate. With me today is Meira Epstein. Meira's astrology practice includes working with clients, teaching, lecturing, and writing. Meira, welcome to the show. How are you today?
Hi, thanks for having me.
Great. Now you sound like you keep very busy. Tell us a little bit about your astrology practice.
My astrology practice, like you said, includes client work, teaching, writing, and translation. Teaching is one of the highlights of my practice, and I keep it up, and I've kept it up all these years because I love to see where students get stuck and get them unstuck and show them how they can integrate all the fields of astrology into one coherent, meaningful piece of information that people can get value out of, whether it's clients or just personal information. When I started out, I found a lot of gaps in the available knowledge, and I started out in the early 80s. And as I kept going, I discovered the ancient material, the classical material. Some people know it as the material from Project Hindsight. I have a lot to say about it, but not this minute. And that involved ancient texts from translation of ancient texts from the Hellenistic period, the Arabic period, and my role was translation from the Hebrew sources. In the process, I discovered and uncovered a lot of useful material that was forgotten and fell by the wayside in the mainstream of astrology. And I started incorporating it into my practice and also teaching it. So when I teach, my students get a lot of this knowledge, the ancient classical material, and how to integrate it into the modern techniques that everybody uses. There's one other aspect to my astrological practice, and that's a completely different system called the Uranian system, or the Hamburg School. The Hamburg School is a product of the 20th century, and to many people it looks like very different from mainstream astrology. I show how it's not different and how it can be integrated to create more meaningful interpretation of charts. So these are the two prongs of my teaching and practice. There's no difference between my teaching and my practice. It combines the classical material and the Uranian system, all integrated into one coherent piece of information.
Now, how important it is for you to help up-and-coming astrologers obtain their education and work towards certification?
This is very important, especially because I encounter situations with people who cannot find the right teacher because they are in the wrong geography, they're not available, and I make it a point that anybody who approaches me in classes will definitely get satisfaction. I teach online for that reason. I teach students online from various places, nationally and internationally, and they pass the NCGR tests just from learning online because I provide a lot of material and so on. So what I'm trying to say is that there's a lot of frustration among students who really want to achieve those levels, and I make it a point to help them as much as possible.
And your talk for the Breaking Down the Borders conference is called Planetary Hours in the Natal Chart. Explain what this means and why should someone attend your talk?
Well, I call this topic one of the best kept secrets in astrology. There are a few others which I classify as such, and that's one of them. Planetary hours are not a different animal, but to some people it looks like a different animal because it's based on planetary qualities that based on time rulership, not on space rulership. When I say space rulership, I mean a planet ruling a sign and thereby ruling a house. These are territorial places, they are spaces. Planetary hours have to do with planets that rule units of time during the day. days of the week and hours during the day. This technique survived to our day in horary astrology a little bit, and also in medieval magic, astrological magic, that some people kind of still study and promote, and they're available. But I have encountered in my studies and research and translation work, I have encountered the usage of this technique in natal chart. And I have found this extremely illuminating, and what's more, easy to apply. There's no need for any computation. It's extremely easy to apply, what I call cost effective. You get a lot of mileage out of it, and it's very interesting, and it's, I would say, a hidden power in the chart. It's not terribly visible at first glance when you look at the chart. Look at the chart, people see aspects, house placement, and so on. This is not something that you see immediately, but once you look for it, and it's easy to look for it, especially with the software that's available, then you get a whole additional hidden dimension in the chart. And that's what I try to promote.
When is your talk for the conference? Do you know the time and date?
I think it's November 21st, 8 p.m. Eastern Time.
Standard time. And if people want to learn more about your talk, they can log on to astrologyconference.org. Now, how can someone learn more about your services? Do you have a website?
Oh, yes. I have a website. It's called bearstar.com. I have to elaborate. Bear, like the animal bear, -star.com. I can be Googled on my name or that name. And that has a lot of information about my online teaching, about my past lectures, and also lectures that are available on disc, or available from the website, and information about the books, my books.
Great. Well, we are just about out of time. I have about 10 or 15 seconds left. Are there any final comments that you would like to add?
Well, say hello to everybody, welcome on board, and I hope everybody loves these ancient treasures as much as I do, because they are so wonderful and they're so usable and useful. Astrology I compare to wine. It gets better as it gets older. So in that sense, it's different from other sciences such as physics or mathematics. In other words, the older the better, because it feels like the ancient people had almost like a direct connection with this symbolism that we have a lot of it we have lost. And there's a lot of treasures out there, and we just have to, they're there for the taking, and I'm offering them.
Great. Well, thank you, Meira. We are out of time. This is Linda Furiate for Breaking Down the Borders. See you around the globe.